Good morning, everybody. At least it's morning where I am. Since we haven't had Class Connect for seems like a long time, there are some things I wanted to go over with you that you might have a little bit of trouble with in the lessons. I'm not sure. But anyway, I wanted to go over these things called moods. Verbs. Okay, verbs have moods too. Teenagers are not the only ones who are moody. Verbs can be moody as well. So I'm going to talk today about indicative, imperative, interrogative, subjunctive, and conditional moods. This is one of your state learning objectives, so I wanted to make sure that I went over those for you. Okay, indicative. You may have heard of a sentence type called indicative. An indicative sentence just indicates something. It just tells something, right? So indicative, it's a statement, a fact, or an opinion, like I like chocolate. That's indicative, right? So it indicates something. So for example, I screamed should be loudly at the concert. I screamed loudly at the concert. It's just a statement of fact. It just tells us something, right? So that is indicative mood verb. Okay, then we have what's called an imperative sentence or mood, right? Imperative mood. And what that does is it tells you to do something. It gives you a command. Go catch up on your work. Go clean your room. It is important. It is imperative that you scream your favorite song as loud as you can. Okay, that is imperative. Go clean your room. Do something. It is a command. So that is an imperative mood verb. The other one is called interrogative. It just means to ask a question. Think about if you had to interrogate a criminal. You ask questions. So that is what interrogative means. It just means to ask a question. So think about an interrogation room. That's what I think of, is you ask a question. So that is interrogative mood. Did you scream at the concert? So that is interrogative, just asking a question. Okay, these are, you may not have heard of these, subjunctive mood verbs. It just means it's contrary to reality. In other words, it hasn't happened. It's a wish or something hypothetical that could happen. So it's what if. So think of it this way. In the subjunctive mood, it's not certain. The situation may never happen, unlike conditional, which is the next slide. It is just a what if. If I were to scream my loudest, I could severely injure my vocal cords. Notice it says if I were, not if I was. If I were to scream loudest, I could severely injure my vocal cords. I'm not sure if I can move my slide up. Let me go back one just a little bit. So if you look at the top of my slide, you can't really see it very well, but if you see the words, it's like it's uses. If and were, would, should, could, may. Those are subjunctive moods. If I were, not if I was, if I were to scream the loudest, I could severely injure my vocal cords. So that is subjunctive mood. Conditional mood. Okay. Conditional moods depends on something else to happen. If this, then that, under these conditions. If you scream the loudest, then you will be on TV. Okay, it's kind of like an if-then statement. If you scream the loudest, you will be on TV. Now, you don't see the word then in that sentence right now, but it's kind of implied that it's there. If you scream the loudest, then you will be on TV. Based on these conditions, something is certain to happen, unlike subjunctive mood. So you may want to go back and look at subjunctive mood verbs again. I think you'll have some of these on the test as well, so you want to make sure that you are certain about these, okay? Okay. So down at the bottom you can see it's will, shall, can, might. Those are conditional mood verbs. Will, shall, can, might. So let's practice. What type of verb mood is used in the sentence? Where is the key to your house? Where is the key to your house? Is it A, indicative, B, imperative, C, interrogative, D, conditional, or E, subjunctive? Which one is it? It is C, interrogative, because it asks a question. Remember, interrogative and interrogate, if you're going to ask that criminal or that suspect lots and lots of questions, you interrogate them. Do you ever feel like your parent interrogates you? My daughter feels that way about me sometimes because I ask her lots of questions and she doesn't want to answer them. And we just talked about why, because it is a question. Here's another one. What type of verb mood is used in the sentence? If I were to win $1 million, there are 1,000,000 things I would do. Is it indicative, imperative, interrogative, conditional, or subjunctive? What do you think? It is subjunctive, because if I were, then there are 1,000,000 things I could do. Let's go back and look at the subjunctive ones again, okay? Let's review that really quickly. I have to go back through these. Okay, here is subjunctive. Remember, it is, it's not certain that something will happen. It may never happen. Okay, so that is why that one is subjunctive. It's uncertain that something will happen and it may never happen. It's just a what if. And I apologize, I have to go back through these again and you guys can see the slides again. I'll leave it there for a second. You can look at it again. Okay, so let's look at this one again. We've already done it, but it doesn't hurt to go over them again. Where is the key to your house? Is it indicative, imperative, interrogative, conditional, or subjunctive? It is interrogative because it asks a question. Okay, here is this one. If I were to win $1 million, there are 1,000,000 things I could do. And we said that one was subjunctive because it's not certain whether something will happen or not. It's just a kind of a what if. What if I were to win $1 million? There are 1,000,000 things I would do. Okay, remember, because subjunctive is, it's not certain it will happen, and more than likely it's probably not going to happen. Christmas is less than a month away. Indicative, imperative, interrogative, conditional, or subjunctive. It's indicative. Remember, it's just stating a fact. It's indicating that, you know, Christmas is a month away. because it is stating a fact. So here's another one. What type of verb mood is used in the sentence? If you study for this quiz, then you will get an A. If you study for this quiz, you will get an A. It is conditional, remember, because conditional is if you do this, then this will happen. It's a certainty. Unlike subjunctive, which is not a certainty. So conditional, under the condition, if you study for this quiz, that's the condition, you will get an A. Okay, here's another one. What type of verb mood is used in the sentence? Bring your animals inside in the winter. Is it indicative, imperative, interrogative, conditional, or subjunctive? It is imperative because it's a command. It's telling you to do something. That's what imperative. For example, if I say to my daughter, it is imperative that you clean your room. In other words, you have to do it. It is a command. There's no, it just tells you to do something. All right. I know you guys probably can't see the top of my slide here. Let me see if I can fix this. Hold on one second. All right. So, poor Biebs, he needs some help with grammar. I don't know if you guys like Justin Bieber or not. Is he still a thing? He used to be. I'm not sure if he is anymore. So, can you help Biebs out? So, there's a song I want you guys to listen to. If I was your boyfriend, what is wrong with that? What is wrong with that? If I was your boyfriend. What is the mood of the verb in the title of his song? What is the mood of the verb? It is subjunctive. So, if I was your boyfriend, what is wrong with that? Do you know? Why does was have to be changed to were? Because remember, it should be if I were your boyfriend. Were is the only appropriate form in the subjunctive mood. Normally we would say I was, but in a hypothetical situation or the subjunctive mood, were is the form used. Like you could say I was late for my dentist appointment. Okay, but if it is in the subjunctive mood, you could say if I were late, then, okay? So it's hypothetical. Many people use this incorrectly, you guys. Please learn how to do this. If it is in a subjunctive mood, okay, it's hypothetical. In other words, it may happen or it might not happen. So Bieber should have said, if I were your boyfriend, right? Not if I was your boyfriend. Why can't we leave it as it is and assume it is in the conditional form? Because it is not a certain condition. It's only hypothetical he's talking about. It's not guaranteed under any kind of situation. And again, I'm trying to adjust my frame so you guys can see all of it. So we can't just leave it as it is and assume it's in the conditional form because it's not certain. It's hypothetical. So subjunctive, hypothetical. Remember those two. All right, that is it. Be happy. You know all 5 verb moods. And I'm also going to do one for active and passive voice because you also need to know that for the test as well. But hopefully you enjoyed this little presentation, and I will see you soon. Bye.